We're told that the shorter leg of a right triangle is 3 centimeters less than the other leg. Find the length of the two legs if the hypotenuse is 15 centimeters. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a picture, and it always helps to draw a picture. So here's my right triangle, and we're told the hypotenuse is 15, right? Hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. So that's our first step here. Now, our next step is going to be to try to create an equation, right? So just like with our other ones, we want to set an example. So we want to set a variable. So we say the shorter leg is 4 centimeters less than the other leg. So we have the shorter and the longer, right? So we have two legs here. So the shorter leg is less than the other leg. So I'm going to call this X. So here's my longer side. And then so the shorter leg is 3 centimeters less. So it's X minus 3. Okay. Now we want to find out X. So we know all three sides. How do we do that? Well, I know something that relates all of these sides, right? The Pythagorean theorem. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where C here is always the hypotenuse. So I can turn that into what I have here. So X minus 3 squared plus X squared equals 15 squared. So this is my equation. Right now, though, I can see I'm going to have squares. So I'm like, this is a quadratic, but it's not in standard form, right? So if I want to solve this, I need to put it into standard form, okay? Anytime you have the Pythagorean, you're likely going to need to do this because a Pythagorean, being squared, is usually a quadratic. So just kind of a heads up that once you start working with that, that's usually a slide into some sort of factoring solution. So I need to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to FOIL here, right? So I'm going to get x squared. This is a perfect square one. So I get 3x's in the middle. So 6x plus 9 plus x squared plus this is 225. I have them memorized. Obviously, if you don't, you could certainly plug this into your calculator. I do find it helps to have the base ones memorized. And I was just to make sure I wasn't crazy, I was doing the math on my calculator as I was talking, and I couldn't press the right buttons. Now I'm going to add like terms over here. So I have 2x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 225. But now I need equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 225 from both sides. So I get 2x squared minus 6x. So then I have 9 minus 225, which is going to give me negative 216 equals 0. So I'm finally in standard form, okay? My next step is I am going to factor, right? So I want to solve this. It's a quadratic because of this right here. So I want to factor. First thing I notice is everything is divisible by 2. I'm going to totally take that 2 out because that makes everything so much easier. I divide that 16, so now this is negative 108 equals 0. Now, this 2 actually doesn't matter because I can divide both sides by 2 and it will go away. So I can actually just, maybe, I guess I can't erase this. There we go. I can actually just erase this because when I divide by 0, it goes away. So it's not going to. I don't even have to carry it. If I was actually factoring this, I would carry it to the end to show what's out there. But in this case, I don't need to because I'm solving and it goes away because what I really did, as I said, was divide 0 by 2, which is 0. Okay, now, this is a long-winded explanation. I want to factor this. So I'm looking at 108. I need something that equals this 3, right? I need a pair. When I look at 108, it's a big number. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know what it does, but I'm going to take the square root of 108, and I get about 10.3. I know one value has to be less than that. So I know 10 doesn't go into it, so I'm going to try 9. And ooh, yes, 12 and 9, which is perfect. The other thing is here, because 12 minus 9 is 3, which is what I want. I want the negative there so that I get a negative in the middle. Heads up, I don't know if you remember your divisibility rules, but if the digits add up to 9, add up to something divisible by 9, the whole thing's divisible by 9, so it adds up to 9, so it is divisible. It's also divisible by 3, but in this case, 9 was more helpful. Okay, then I'm going to set both equal to 0. I'm going to get x equals 12 and x equals -9. But I'm looking for the side of a triangle, guys. Which one isn't right? That one, right? I can't have a negative side of a triangle, okay? So my answer is 12, and I think I was in centimeters, right? Yeah, 12 centimeters. That's the longer side. So then the other side is 12 minus 3, which is 9 centimeters. So my two sides are 12 and 9, and the other one was 15. So this is 9, 12, and 15 centimeters. They'd given us 15. So they probably won't ask you for that if you were doing this as a problem. I could, of course, go back and check it. If I do 9 squared, which is 81, plus 12 squared, which is 144, I get 225, which is 15 squared. So I know this is true, and it works out. So hopefully this helps you. It's a little bit weird to think about sides in this manner, but it's just setting up a problem. That picture is going to be crucial. Getting those variables is crucial. Once you have the equation, I know you all can solve it. Getting that equation sometimes can take a little bit of work, but all of this is good practice for this section.